is just fantastic.
Hi everyone, hope you're well. We're going to be talking about something I can't show you a clip of, because I know within the community where this has happened, I would get a lot of heat for using the video of Chantal and a special needs child to make points. I have the raw audio as well, but I'm not going to bother. While we were streaming last night, Chantal was also live. Now, I don't stream snipe, and I'm glad I don't. There are rules when it comes, for me, to stream sniping. We don't do it. We let time pass, and we see what happens as a consequence. In the case of Chantal, people are starting to report her again. Why? Does anyone remember what happened in Kuwait when it came to raising money for a cat? Yeah? How about the times before where she raised money via direct donations to buy food for stray cats? Anyone remember that in Kuwait? Oh, one of her most notable haters is French fried girl, and she did a fundraiser for Syrian peoples, right? But she did it the proper, a direct fundraiser on a YouTube page. Hate on her all you like, I'm not a big fan myself, but that is the correct way to raise money to help those in need. Chantal being in Syria is one of the dumbest things on the planet. It really is. Equally, it's the funniest, because it's one of the dumbest things she could do. It's also dumb because, yet again, she has resorted to doing the tried and true method of exploiting others and her surroundings for monetary gain. She's the type of person to make one video on one thing and never do it again, unless it's a mukbang, in which case she'll sit there happily with junk food in front of her and do the same one over and over again. Exploiting a child to raise money is bad optics. Completely, absolutely. There is no good optics here at all, especially if you have it directly go to you via Super Chats maybe, or you directly have it linked to your own PayPal, when, as anyone could tell you, you could have helped the family set up their own PayPal and create a link directly. So, last night, Chantal, Foodie Beauty, Big Beautiful Bleh, streamed for 46 minutes. It was the grainiest, rubbish, most irritating strem I've ever seen in my life. I'm kidding, I've seen more irritating ones, but this is irritating because it's Chantal. Within the context of her timeline, this is solely exploitation. There are very few ways to think of it differently, to be honest. During the stream, she did what she usually does when she's low on funds, but allegedly this time directed it more in the direction of the young lady, citing that somebody would go and get the money when it's available, to help with the child's education and such. Now, as anyone would know, when it comes to Super Chats, YouTube take 30%. There's also additional taxes Chantal has to pay on it. And it is also believed that more money is taken from her income because she owes money in the form of tax to the Canadian government. This part is debated, but I did get a fair few confirming it in my live chat last night. This would go so far as to explain why Chantal would rather live somewhere where her money goes further, because she doesn't draw the kind of money she used to. Back in the good old days, as it were, when she crunked it up in Cuba on $500, crunk meaning crying while drunk, she was making tens of thousands a month. That is no longer the case, but she can live just as well on 20% of that in a country where the average monthly income is a couple $100. Hell, a $20 super chat buys her KFG, which many of us have debated what the G stands for. I prefer gonorrhea. Make of that what you will. So those donations that during this 46-minute stream she was begging for don't really amount to much. Did she receive many donations though? She got some. Over the course of the 46-minute live stream she made about $80. Some names I'm quite familiar with from my own live chats, but you know what? Not going to criticize, it just tickled me too much. I had to mention it. For the sake of it, in this instance, that $80 goes down a fair bit twice. So let's charitably say the child would then get $40 from that. Congratulations. If Chantal even gives the money to the family in the first place, which isn't like, no offense to Chantal, but her track record when it came to raising money, for example, to buy cat food to feed homeless cats, is negligible. And the money raised for the kitten that got her yeeted out of Kuwait in the first place, where she ducked, covered and ran like there was no tomorrow, the moment she got into trouble, is all against her. Her history and feigning of caring, compassion, authenticity is incredibly limited. So over on a community tab, she had put out a number of posts, and that is what I want to quickly go through, but I'll preface with the following. She has deleted 2 of them and heavily edited the 3rd. The first post: thanks Beezers for the positivity in the live with the young girl. Thanks for the support also. For the rest, well, how is it exploiting a child for money when the money is going to help her? All of it? Lol. Does that make any sense? If I didn't show her, I would get accused of making her up for money. At this point, though, you can't win, but we'll get to that in a moment. How is it also okay for a certain reaction channel to exploit the poor in Syria by asking for donations just to spite me, or trying to look more charitable than me when I have no control over how many donate, etc.? They didn't receive the money though. It went straight to where it was meant to go to. Again, we'll get to that in a moment. This person didn't care at all about this cause before I came here. That is exploitation in my opinion. This is why you're not that smart. The child's family are aware of reaction channels and hateful people online, and will not give it any more attention. Limited internet access will do that. We're just trying to do a good thing. Now people ask me if I regret using the R word. It always comes out when I'm super angry. The word is regarded, change the G for a T. And I never use it against people with special needs. But honestly, now having a personal relationship with the child and someone with special needs, I do feel bad for those past actions. I will never use that word again. She is so sweet and deserves the world. So a couple of things that need to be addressed. Firstly, many will look at this community post, whether they like you or not, and see it as exploiting. Opportunist, right? How is it exploiting a child for money when the money goes to her? Firstly, you don't get this money until the end of next month, unless you intend to take it out of what money you receive this month. If you've received this money yet, I would assume you have based on recent streams and uploads. Since the intention is believed you and Salah are moving to a family home, one would surmise you've put some of your money down to help with the renovation work. Ish. If you didn't show her, you get accused of making her up for money. But now that you have showed her, it looks like you're using her to make money. That's how many will take it because optics are important. If you really want to raise money for those in Syria, raise money for those in Syria through the correct channels. The fundraiser function exists on channels. We can all do that. I know you want it to go directly to her. You could have easily got them to set up their own PayPal so they could then withdraw the money themselves. But you didn't. You could then pin their PayPal in the comments. The family being aware of reaction channels is cute, by the way, but I don't believe they are aware of it in the slightest. Also, internet access isn't the greatest over there. Again, another reason not to believe it. I watched how you and the child interacted, with Salah constantly there saying things as well. It just looked wrong. I'm sorry, but that's how I interpreted it as well when I bothered to watch this morning. You using the R word. Don't bother apologizing for something you don't mean. I take no issue with anyone using any word, but that's because I'm sometimes a bit regarded as well, I guess. Yes, it's unfortunate. It's a condition, really. Also, I use the other version of that as Asian for truck driving. It's a thing, yeah. To the second post. It's messed up that the ghouls of world are trying to make someone good into a very bad thing, just like with Bruce, so they can keep their vile channels up and running. No one cares. I'm gonna keep doing what I want for the good of others or animals in need, and y'all can stay mad and keep reeing. I see we found a different R word. I assume in the future you're going to apologize and refrain from using anything that can be interpreted as an autistic slur. Give it time, we'll get there. As far as this one goes, I'm impressed that you hate watch so much that you just came off a live, which you had, by the way, when you posted this. You just come off a live and were then immediately checking in on your haters. That tells us everything about you. You were watching them like hawks because you wanted that negativity. Some of your haters on Twitter are kind of done with you now. They don't want to be involved in you or anything you do when you exploit children, or how it is interpreted as such, which is the correct interpretation, by the way. The third one, as for accessing my money, we found a way and will be traveling to Lebanon maybe end of next month. In the meantime, Salah has been helping this family, and many others, since he moved here alone to begin with, linking paypal.me Foodie Beauty. Okay, no money sent for the girl will go to me and I will provide receipts as usual. So that third post is the only one that's still standing, but it was edited. Well, I think reduced might be the more accurate way of describing it, to simply, also for those asking for PayPal to direct donations, please send to, and then Foodie Beauty. There are more points that can be made about the first post, but for the sake of this video, I'm not going to bother. The second post, I think I'm right. She had just come off live and she was posting this, which means the moment that the stream ended, she walked away from the child and immediately started community posting when she saw the response from the haters. Sorry, haters on Twitter and on YouTube as well. I've no doubt she hate watches a few of them. One of the largest viewed haters hasn't live streamed at all yet on this, but I fully expect more to given time. I had said last night when I streamed this that I was looking into it, but to be honest, I don't want to use the video. It's why I'm not today. I don't want to. There are rules, man. Don't use children. Many of those aforementioned haters have started reporting Chantal. Someone had actually asked me to do it as well, and I said no, I don't report people. But also, people have already started doing it and posting the receipts of which on Twitter. Proof of it is here, for example. This creator is exploiting a foreign Syrian child with Down syndrome for her own profit. ABUSING children should not be allowed on YouTube. Please stop this, ABUSE, ASAP. One other aspect from Chantal's chat, which you can't see on the replay, needs to be highlighted. And that is that while there were mods who were taking care of the issue, people were in there trolling with a Guna attitude. ASMR homesteading. At Foodie Beauty. Can you lift her shirt up for us? I'm gooning to this. What? So I won't deny, the very first time I read that, I did laugh. Because it's an obvious troll. It really is. But it is highly inappropriate. And this is one of the issues when you put children on the internet. People are going to put these kind of comments out there. They are. Because edgy boy. Okay? However, children should not be exposed to this. If you really wanted to raise money for Syrian children, use the fundraiser facility on YouTube to do it that way, rather than go through YouTube to you to maybe a bank account or a cash machine in Lebanon, which, by the way, is the dumbest thing ever. And multiple cuts will be taken from it, that money will go nowhere near as far. Of course, I want everyone to have a better life. I want everyone to prosper, okay? I really do. But I also accept that you are not the right avatar for doing what is dubbed charity. You will never be that either, because you are a truly reprehensible individual that only cares about herself. On Twitter, the hashtag FoodieBeautyKidAbuser was doing its rounds. Courtesy of Laura Mel, YouTuber faces exploitation backlash, which led to this, a summary. YouTuber Chantal Marie Sarrault, known as Foodie Beauty, featured a child with Down syndrome in a livestream to solicit donations for the child's schooling and family needs. This event, if you skip to the end, adds to Sarrault's history of controversial appeals on her channel with over 100,000 subscribers. Quick thing, she hasn't really got over 100,000 at all. She was at 96,000 for a long time, and then magically crept over the line and hasn't moved since. Many of us earned our play buttons. She did not. She bought them. We know this because Salah allegedly tested it out on the couple's channel. Because no one's going to notice 18,000 going up, huh? Idiots. With this subject, I'd like to know what you all think. When it comes to using children on the internet, my view will remain solid. I don't think children should be exploited on the internet in the slightest. Anyone that does that should be absolutely pilloried to high hell. And I don't care if you claim it's for good intentions. I'm not convinced because of your background, Chantal, that it can be considered anything but exploitation. People are reporting you now, which means there's a chance with more lights being shone on you, you'll lose your monetization. And don't forget here, without monetization on YouTube, you're screwed. You are actually definitively screwed. If anyone wants to hurt you, that's the only way to do it. I don't know what the Syrian system is like when it comes to raising money for others, but since you're a tourist, you are taking advantage of others for essentially your own gain. You can try and argue otherwise, but your track record does not help you. You're a smeg for brain. Back to you wonderful people though, if anyone does have an opinion on this, different or agreeing, let me know in the comments. It drives up engagement. Smash the like. If I don't see you on Twitch or Kick later for a bit of gaming, we're playing Dawn of War Retribution as Tyrannid still. I hope you have a marvellous day and thank you all so much for listening. Ta-ta for now.